Well, good morning. It is another wet day. It's been raining all night. Man, I just snuggle up in my sleeping bag all night long and warmed up a lot. I feel great, feel strong. Still a really cold rain today, but the good news is I just got started and I had to stop and take my sweatshirt off. So as long as I keep moving, I think I'll be able to stay warm. And then I've got that sweatshirt in reserve if I need it. So yeah, I think I kind of cut the video short yesterday because I was freezing to death. I got to camp and set up my tent and ate real quick, and Tennessee Slim was there in the shelter. Talked to him for a while and then jumped in and just spent a night of warming up and sleeping. So managed to get out this morning without everything getting too wet, so that's good. It'll be nice for tonight when stickers are trying to grab me when I try to set up. And this is what my day looks like today. First of all, a lot of walking in that. I'm just walking through puddles the whole time. Feet are still, my socks are still just soaking wet, my shoes from yesterday, so my feet will be just prunes all day. And I have a decision I have to make, but it's really not much of a decision. I think I told you I need to average about 16.5 miles a day to get where I need to go to get shuttled around. Anyway, so I'm on track with that, but today I have two options. I can go to the second shelter up here, which is about 11 miles in, or I can go to the third shelter, which is about 21 miles in. So looks like I'm going 20 or 21 miles today. I think it's probably more like 20.4 or something like that. So it's gonna be a long day. The good news is if it gets really cold, if it continues to get colder or whatever, I can always stop short at that one at 11 miles. But once I make the decision to go on from there, then I have another, almost 10 miles to go. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and make it, cold or not. So anyway, I think it'll be fine. I'll probably go to that 20-mile one. But I got a long, fast day, and it's really rainy, so probably won't be a ton of video from me today. We'll have to see if I see anything absolutely phenomenal. Otherwise, I'll have these Ziploc bags on my hands. Maybe my extra pair of socks on my hands to keep them warm. Now, it won't be very functional, so I'll just walk and walk and walk. So anyway, I think that's all I got to say for now. Yeah, this is all part of it too, man. A little different experience. I haven't gotten so lucky and haven't gotten a ton of this like crazy cold rain for, days on end type thing that is, inevitably a part of hiking out here. I've been out here 3 weeks and I've barely gotten any of it, so time to pay the piper. It's so vibrant out here this morning. Everything's just so bright in the rain and set against the foggy background. It is beautiful. So I am moving very fast this morning, staying totally dry. Staying totally warm, if not dry. And that's the key. That's the key when you're in weather like this, is you can't stop. Well, the key is you can't stop, and when you do, you need to have warm, dry stuff. Because then you stop and try to sit down and eat something for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And just the slightest breeze and you not moving and whatever, you can become hypothermic really, really quickly. So, yeah, I'm just not going to stop. I've got a belt pack full of food and plenty of water. I'm just going to keep going and going and going and going. Don't let myself cool off. I just passed my first shelter of the day, or stopped at my first shelter of the day, Old Orchard Shelter. It's about 6.7 miles from where I started this morning. So, like I said, I was moving. There was a decent amount of uphill, and I was really hauling it to make it there. And I don't know, it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes or something. It was really fast for me considering the terrain. Just rocks and boulders everywhere, and lots of up and down. So anyway, but boy, it kept me in like a perfect equilibrium. I mean, I wasn't sweating, I wasn't cold, I was just perfect, and I was just moving fast, and it feels good when you're in that kind of place, you know. It's one advantage to this cold rain is it's not hot. So, you know, I can anyway, the way my body works, I can push myself a lot harder in the cold, and as long as I don't heat up, you know, then I can really just keep trucking. Another advantage is there's no bugs. But anyway, but when I got into the shelter, Old Orchard, I stopped there. I wasn't gonna really stop, but then I saw they had a privy, so took advantage of that. And also, when I got there, there was this gentleman there, a young guy, who was took a 5-day trip. Kyle, I think his name was taking a 5-day escape from the world, you know. But he was kind of thinking of maybe bailing out because it had been so cold and rainy, and you know, I mean, really, this is not expected. It's been like yesterday, I think the high was 45 up in that area. And so, you know, what was the low? I mean, it was definitely colder than 45. And you just don't expect that this time of year. In fact, you know, you see me all bundled up. What I probably haven't shown you yet is that's all the pants I have. So I've been going through yesterday and today with just those shorts on, and tried to dry them out as best I could last night. Anyway, I stopped and talked to him, is what I'm trying to get at. And definitely cooled off way too much. Had a snack and stuff, but I got cold, so my feet are gonna hate me later. But literally, when I left that shelter, I just started running. And so I've been jogging probably the last mile and a half or so, just jogging down the trail with my 30-pound pack on, you know, just bouncing up and down, but I feel good now. First of all, I made a whole bunch of miles really fast, but I'm now my body temperature's up, and I feel a lot better. My hands, my legs, my core, everything is closer to that equilibrium. So now I'm just going to slow down a little, not a lot. I'm not going to run. It's just too hard on my Achilles and on the bottoms of my feet with that much weight on my back. Yeah, and I've only got, well, from the last shelter, I have less than 5 miles to the next shelter, which I don't have any idea if I'll stop at. I probably won't, but I might for 2 seconds. Sometimes it's just a sort of a nice mental thing about just getting underneath a roof where the rain isn't hitting you and being able to just take off your Ziploc bags and, you know, just have 2 seconds of peace to just eat something real quick. So I probably will do that. And then I've got my decision to make that I already mentioned earlier, that, you know, am I going to go the next 10 miles or, yeah, almost 10 miles to the next shelter. It's already noon, I think, right now. But I think I have to, so unless I'm half frozen to death when I get to this next shelter in, you know, an hour, I'll probably go on. Okay. You tired of listening to me talk yet? Because my arm is tired of holding this thing up in the air. Later. So here's a map of the George Washington and Jefferson forests, I guess, or maybe this is just the Jefferson, or I'm not sure. But anyway, this shows kind of all the different wilderness areas. Lewis Fork and Little Wilson and Grayson Highlands and some of these areas that I just have gone through. So here is where I was yesterday. The Appalachian Trail is the white diamond. So if we work backwards, I came in from right here and went to Elk Garden. Elk Garden was just that parking lot that I had a hard time opening the bear-proof trash cans because my hands were so cold. And then went up through some incredible area. There was a big cow pasture in here and up into the Lewis Fork Wilderness. And then up close to Mount Rogers, which is, I believe, is the highest mountain in Virginia. And then Thomas Knob's Shelter, that's where I met that family. Helped me warm up my hands a little bit. And then went through Rhododendron Gap and into Grayson Highlands. And I took a little video of entering in there, but by then it was getting really, really, really cold. And I really didn't get a chance to see all the great stuff in Grayson Highlands. It was just too fogged in. And then I hiked through that and stayed at Wise Shelter last night. And so then today, what I've done so far is hiked here into the Little Wilson Creek wilderness just a little bit, and then back out and up through Scales, I guess, but I don't even remember. There was a parking lot, but anyway, I hauled through there. And then Old Orchard Shelter, that's where I just stopped a little bit back and saw Kyle. And now I'm heading up to right here, Fox Creek, and I will go on to that next shelter I just told you about, Hurricane Mountain Shelter. And then for the rest of the day, I will be working my way out of this map, this way, and off the map into Raccoon Branch Wilderness, which is where I will find the shelter that I'm going to stay at. So anyway, it's cool to see it that way. You know, I don't have maps that necessarily lay out the trail just like that, except on my phone, and so it's kind of cool to see the overall and see what I did. All right, it actually feels like it's warming up. It's totally clouded in, but there's actually light. You know, the sun is only 10 layers behind the clouds now instead of 400, so it feels better. I'm gonna hike a little, maybe without my Ziploc bags on my hands, and see how it goes. That's where I'm heading. I performed a magic trick today. I was able to walk along hiking for 11 miles and have my shoe insert come all the way out of my shoe without taking my shoe off. It just worked its way out all day, and I didn't want to stop, and now it's about to fall out. And I'm just here at the entrance to Hurricane Shelter, the second shelter of the day, but I'm not going to climb a bunch of steps to get up there. So anyway, yeah, I don't know how I performed that magic trick, but I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going on to the last shelter. I did the first 11 miles of the day in about 3 hours and 45 minutes. No, about 4 hours and 45 minutes. Somewhere around 2.7 miles an hour ish, whatever. If I could keep the same pace up for the rest of the day, it would take me, you know, a little less than 3.5 hours to do the last 9 miles. I've got 9 more miles to go. I do not think it is at all realistic that I can keep up that same pace. So, it's going to take me longer than 3.5 hours, I'm sure. If I can go about 2 miles an hour, which I think is about the absolute minimum that I usually average, even on like really pretty rough terrain, that'd be 4.5 hours. So, let's see, right now, check my clock here, it is about almost 1 o'clock. Yeah, so that'd get me there at 4:30 or 5:30, which I'm a little concerned about. just because it's already getting colder now again. I just stopped for 5 minutes just to eat chicken packet and fix my shoe, and just, I mean, that was only a stop 5 minutes, and I definitely feel colder as a result of it. So, sorry, I just remembered I took off. I didn't check all my stuff to make sure everything is here. I didn't leave anything behind, so I'm good. Yeah, so I should be getting in sometime between 4:30 and 5:30. I don't think there's any way it's gonna be 4:30, so I don't know. I've got still my dry socks and my dry sweatshirt in my pack that I can put on if I need to. But I'm gonna try my best to just keep moving fast and staying warm. And it'll be awesome if I can get in there, you know, by 5, let's say, instead of 5:30. So that's what I'm shooting for. There's a little bit of uphill coming up, but mostly it's kind of downhill and then just a little up and down and stuff like that. So I think I'll make good time today. I'm feeling good. As cold as it is out here, I'd pretty much choose this over hiking in the heat most of the time. It's just the cold and the rain combined that create a little bit of a problem. But I'm having fun with it. Interesting. Looks like there's a bridge that is unsafe at Comer's Creek, and so this section of the trail is closed. You can see kind of the X's down there, what's closed. So they've got a different way you have to go, and that's kind of the more pinkish purplish thing on there. So instead of going on the AT like that, I have to take a left here on Dickey Gap Trail and go ways until I get the paved road, and then turn right and follow that till I get to Comer's Creek Road. Turn right on that road, follow it until I get to the AT. So there you go. I don't know how much that's adding on. It actually looks like maybe it's, well, actually looks like it's about the same because you backtrack and then go ahead. So hopefully it won't slow me down too much. All right, time to go. Oh my gosh, a patch of sunlight. Hallelujah! All right, I'm leaving Comer's Creek Trail, or I don't know, whatever it was called. Yeah, Comer's Creek Falls. Anyway, Comer's Creek Trail. Leaving that, and here's their temporary sign, AT North. So it's kind of cool. Campground here that I normally wouldn't have seen. In fact, it's on the guide I have, telling that you can come down that trail and get to the campground if you want, but of course, who would want to go out of their way to do that? But I had to today. Now I've got a couple miles on roads before I can get back on the AT. All right, looks like I have to turn off of this nice paved trail onto this nice paved trail. They said this was a gravel road, but it isn't gravel yet anyway. Ah, light at the end of the tunnel. I think I get back on the AT right before I hit this road up here. So if the AT hadn't been closed, that's where I'd be coming from. Right up this trail and out onto this road. Or I'd walk up here and get back on the trail. Well, here it is. 4 miles to go. Well, it's temperature's really improved for sure. Still just barely any little showers once in a while here and there. I mean, it's just barely sprinkling, but the winds have stopped entirely, which has made a huge difference. And it's a little warmer, you know, it's still plenty cool enough to be able to hike fast and hard, but you know, I'm just not having to wear Ziplocs anymore. So it's not like bitter, which is great. Been hiking up on a ridge. I just dropped off of it, and I am on my way down, which means another couple miles at the most, maybe a mile and a half. And I'm at the shelter, and it's pretty much all downhill to the shelter, so I'll be able to make some good time. And I thought at the end of the day I was going to be able to say I did not see another hiker on this trail all day long. 20 miles, not a single hiker. But I just passed somebody back there. And I don't even know which way she was going. She was just sitting looking at her phone. It wasn't very talkative, but we said hi, and she had a full pack and whatever. So yeah, somebody else is out here. Somebody is in this universe with me. So, boy, it's been a really good day. Been a really good day. I felt so strong today, and I've actually kept my speed up. I'm gonna get into camp right around 4:30. So that means I was able to keep pretty much the same rate of speed as I've been doing all day, right around that 2.7 miles per hour. Maybe even barely better in this stretch. Although I don't really know how that road section affected things. You know, on a map it looked to be really close to the same distance, but you know, who knows, maybe it cut off a quarter mile or even a half mile, or maybe it added. So anyway, but I just feel good about it, and gonna give me plenty of time when I get in tonight to be able to, you know, just relax and not have to just be crazy in the rain, you know, and the freezing cold, trying to get dinner and get everything back together and get everything up and done so that I don't freeze to death and I can jump in my bag, and you know, so it'd be good to be able to get in and just have a little just chill time. What a day. You know, I had a couple of, you know, not horrible days, but minorly rough days. The bear canister day was a little crazy. And yesterday, you know, the cold came on. I didn't expect it, and I wasn't really totally prepared for it. And those weren't, you know, it wasn't horrible at all, but just, you know, challenging. And, but you know, there's a saying out here that you never quit on a bad day. And I probably have mentioned that before in one of these videos, but you never quit on a bad day, you know? Something crazy happens, a bear eats your freaking canister. You don't quit on that day, you know? You come back the next day, and the next day, and, you know, you wait till you have a really good day. And then if you still don't want to be out here, if you've decided that you've done what you needed to do, or you know, you're just not enjoying it, or whatever your reasons might be, then hey, then go home and you can have peace with that, but don't leave on a bad day, because there's usually a good day right around the corner. And you know, that's when you have regrets. You leave on something bad and then you think, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So anyway, I'm not bringing that up because I thought for one second about quitting or leaving, but really just to make the point that there's so many good days out here. When you have a couple of challenges, you just face them head on, and man, before you know it, you're having the day of your life. It's been a pretty dang good day today. Oh, that was a nice end of the day. Cool. And now the rain's starting to come again. Mother Nature just had to make me put this rain jacket on one more time today. Yeah, I know you're in charge and not me. All right, I made it for the night. And right on the nose, look at that. 4:15. That means, I barely made it. I left at 8:15 this morning. That means exactly 8 hours to go this, well, I don't even know what it is. I think it's about 20.2 or 20.4 miles. So anyway, right on. Find a place to set up here. I know it's hard to see her, isn't it? But she's right here in camp. I'm just walking down the trail to get water. She's staring at me, but she doesn't want to move.